With Metro by T-Mobile, your hard-earned money goes further. This tax season, there's zero fees to switch. Enjoy Metro's lowest price, just $25 a line for 4 lines. Plus, get 4 free Samsung Galaxy phones when you switch. Now that's the best deal in wireless. Metro by T-Mobile, empowering you to rule your day. All lines lose promo rate if any deactivates. No fees on select phones. Limit 1 per line with eligible port. Excludes sales tax. Limited time offer. Additional terms apply. See metrobytmobile.com.
The following is a Hoop Ball presentation.
Hello, and welcome back to the Hoop Ball DFS Today podcast. I am your host, Mike Apatria, joined by my good friend Keith Cork. We're back. We took our All-Star break. The NBA took their All-Star break. Keith took his break, if I'm not mistaken, Keith. You were All-Star crushing some new games, get a nice setup. Everybody and that's what we got to do, man. We got to enjoy this little break for ourselves, take a little breather, and now we're ready to jump back into it. But Keith, talk about it. How was your gaming experience, and how you doing?
Yeah, man, I'm good, man. I got a new desktop. First time I've had desktop since college, actually, and playing some Deep Rock Galactic with some friends from college and having a grand old time, man. It's great. It's great to take a break, and I definitely suggest that for anybody that's feeling worn out. But I hope you did get a chance to take a break over that All-Star break there, and ready to get back at it, man. I'm refreshed and just raring to go, ready to get some people some money.
Absolutely, and that's exactly right, dude. It's the same thing. Even if you're in a slump. Sometimes taking a night or two off and just collecting the thoughts, not even thinking about DFS. It's just, it's peace of mind right there where, you're not just panicking. What did I miss? Who's doing what? It gives you a second to recuperate. But before we jump into anything, just a quick shout out to our presenting sponsors, MyBookie. These guys are absolutely phenomenal. They are fantastic. They are the number one bookie in the business. If you haven't checked them out already, head over to mybookie.ag. And when you sign up on your initial deposit, if you use that promo code HoopBall, they will match up to $1,000, 50% of that deposit, free cash for you. So you deposit $1,000, they will give you $500 for free. And you're wondering, what can I do over there? Absolutely anything and everything you want. With NBA going on, college hoops winding down, a lot of things going on, guys. They have a fully fledged casino platform as well. It's one of my favorite things. So even at the end of the night, if I'm hot in DFS, I'll hit the table. I'll hit the table once in a while. I'll play a couple games of roulette. Maybe I'll let it ride. I'll do a couple different things. We'll see what happens over there because MyBookie has it all. You can bet your games and you can play your table games all at the same time. So, guys, head over to MyBookie. Use that promo code HoopBall. And while you're out there, open up another tab. Get that browser open. Go to manscaped.com, guys. Check out Manscaped. They are absolutely fantastic. They have a full line of products for all your male grooming needs. Whether it's for you, somebody else, maybe a nice little gift. Like I always say, I love it using it as my travel package, my travel kit, because you can just get that perfect package kit 3.0, and you get a kit perfectly for travel. A little kit that carries everything for you. You get the lawnmower 3.0. You get the body wash. You get the conditioner. You get the aftershave. And you get the toner. You get the boxers. And you get a T-shirt. All of that. And if you head over there and use the promo code HoopBall20, you get 20% off plus free shipping on your entire order. That is HoopBall20. So, Keith, we're back, man. We're back from this All-Star break. We have 2 games to get into. And, frankly, a lot of news considering what we kind of went into that All-Star break with. So we'll get to that second game. But to lead us off, it's the Washington Wizards traveling to Memphis, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time game. And this one, for the injury report on the Grizzlies, Grayson Allen and Jaren Jackson Jr. are still out. And for the Wizards, just Thomas Bryant and Ish Smith. So I'll pass it over to you. Why don't you talk about this Wizards team?
Yeah, man, the Wizards team, obviously you've got Bradley Beal and you've got Russell Westbrook in the backcourt. Of those two guys, I think Russell Westbrook's probably my favorite target, to be honest with you. I know 10-1's a little pricey to pay for Westbrook, but if there's anything we know about this Grizzlies team, pardon me, is that, they're pretty weak down low. They're seventh worst in the league in defending shots 6 feet or closer to the basket. And, the Wizards aren't great down low, but they do have Russell Westbrook who, he can get to the basket anytime he really wants to. So I like going Russell here at 10-1. He put up 15 assists in our last game, and it was before when they played last time, and there's no reason you think he can't do that again. So the assist will be there, the scoring will be there. I'm all for Russell Westbrook. A couple other guys I'd look at. I mean, I don't mind if you go Bradley Beal. I'd go Westbrook if I was going to spend my money there. But the other guys I'd be looking at would be Robin Lopez, 3,400. Again, the Grizzlies are weak on the interior. Robin Lopez makes a ton of sense in cash games. He's just solid. If he gets at least 20, 25 minutes, you think he's going to hit that value at 3,400, which is a really pedestrian price tag. He's averaging 18.6 DK points in their last 7 games. So it's just a solid price tag. It's a solid guy. I like him for a cash play. The other guy I'd be looking at as a GPP pivot off of that is Mort Wagner. 3,200. Mo Wagner, he's if he gets the minutes, he's a fantastic fantasy points per minute guy, and he's averaged a little bit over a fantasy point per minute in their last 5 games, and he's only averaged 14.2 minutes in that span. So if he can get more than that, 20, 25 minutes again, just the same thing with Robin Lopez, then he's definitely gonna crush it, and he's gonna crush Robin Lopez too, probably. So I like him as a GPP target, but that's really it. Again, I don't mind Beal, but I prefer Westbrook here. What about you?
You said it perfect. I'm all over Westbrook. I just think he's a must play on this slate. Cash, GPP. Only 2 games. Talk about ceiling, floor for the price tag. This is easily the type of slate, just on my initial builds, where I could see myself going double studding. If you want to be contrarian and stack this game, and maybe you have both of Westbrook and Beal, I probably wouldn't go that route. I'd probably look to get maybe somebody in that later game as well. But Westbrook's pretty much a lock in all my lineups. And honestly, I don't have a ton of other interest in anybody on this team. I like the cheaper options you mentioned in the front court. If I had to pick between Wagner and Lopez, it just feels like it's more of a Lopez matchup. Knowing he's going against Valanciunas, a guy that's not necessarily further than 15 feet away from the paint. But they're probably going to chop him up anyway. But both of them cheap enough to definitely consider. And you can look at them in cash and just know that you're probably getting anywhere between that 14 to 18 point floor at the very minimum. And if they get the extra minutes, boom, you're kind of crossing into some territory of value. But that's it for me. Not really going to Hachimura, not playing Bertans too much or Neto. Bertans GPP only, not trusting him in cash. Just a little too up and down for me. But it's Westbrook and then some shares of Beal. On the Memphis side of the ball, I'm sorry, you want to jump in there?
I was going to jump in and say you brought up an interesting point, talking about stacking Beal and Westbrook. I actually don't mind that. And the reason I don't mind that is the 238 game total. I think it's a lot. We'll get to the other game later, but it's just a really appealing game total. It's going to be really high paced. We've got the 8th fastest team in terms of pace against the 1st fastest team in terms of pace right here. So I wouldn't mind stacking those 2 guys. Like you said, I probably wouldn't go that route. I might stack somebody on the other side of the ball, which we'll talk about here in a minute.
Yeah, and listen, I have 2 lineups made. I made 2 shell lineups. One includes a Westbrook Beal stack. The other one will include Westbrook and somebody from this game that we'll jump into. So in a second. So we'll get there. On the Memphis side of the ball, though, there's definitely some interest. One of my favorite plays of the slate is going to be Jonas Valanciunas. Love the price tag. Love the matchup. Wizards haven't had a front court ever since Thomas Bryant pretty much went down. So any center that walks in there just has their way with them. Valanciunas isn't a guy that we need to get huge minutes from either. 27 minutes. He's one of the best point per minute guys in the NBA. So sign me up, 7,100. Locking him in at my center. There's no reason to look to anybody else, in my opinion, on the slate. It's just banging value, even at that price tag. Don't mind John Morant at 78. Like I said, though, the way my builds are going initially, it's just not finding myself with that type of money. I'm kind of going double stud on this. But it's a solid matchup. I don't want to pinpoint too many guys going against Russell Westbrook. His defense kind of really changed throughout, I would say, the past year and a half, 2 years. Before then, kind of known as a guy that we can pick on in DFS. But he's pretty much been one of the plus defenders for this team all season long. So not going to go there. And it's going to be DeAnthony Melton for me. So I'm looking at DeAnthony Melton. I'm looking at Valanciunas. DeAnthony Melton, another guy, just a fantastic point per minute guy. He gets it done on the defensive end. Can chip into some assists, rebounds. If his 3 balls falling, fantastic. And pretty much blowout proof as well. He's going to get 20 minutes if the game stays close, 26 minutes if it gets out of hand. So that's it for me. Valanciunas, some DeAnthony Melton. Sign me up for both of them.
Yeah, I'm pretty much right there with you. JV is just rock solid. I don't really have to say much more there. I don't mind playing some John Moran. I think Russell Westbrook, like you said, it's an okay play. The salary there at 7,800. I don't know if I fit it in because I think you can go 2 studs here. I think that's probably the play for many people. So, but if you can fit him in 7,800, I don't mind paying that for him. Westbrook, he's got a lot of energy on the defensive side of the ball, but he's not really a lockdown defender. I mean, Moran just dropped 35 points on the same squad, so there's no reason he can't do it again. But again, like you said, it's probably not something I'm reaching for. It's just something if I happen to be able to fit him in, I'll get him in there. The one guy you didn't mention that I am looking at quite a bit though is Dillon Brooks. The Grizzlies, and I love that. I love this call just because I think a lot of people aren't going to be on him. A lot of people just don't. They stay away from him like the plague.
I'm one of those people.
Yeah,
for some reason, Dillon Brooks and Harrison Barnes, I can't get shares of either one of them if I tried.
Yeah.
I just can't do it.
It makes sense, but but like we were talking about, you target the Grizzlies inside, you target the Wizards outside. They're 7th worst in the league in defended 3-point percentage. And Dillon Brooks, he got up 10 shots, I think it was, a couple of games ago, but he's averaging a team leading 5.8 3-point attempts a game. A lot of that was done with John Moran on the sidelines. I understand that, but he's just going to get up a bunch of shots, and he's going to get up a lot of 3-point shots. And on 3+ days of rest, he shoots at 46.7% from beyond the arc. He's obviously got more than 3 days rest here, and the All-Star break happened, so he could hit it pretty nicely from behind the arc, and 5,400 is a nice price tag for him. So I would add him in there. Again, not a guy I'm probably reaching for to get in my lineup, but he's a nice filler to me. And again, like you said, D'Anthony Melton's also on my list here. He's rock solid. Hopefully the big break has helped people forget that he was just playing so well. He 39.5 and 32.75 DraftKings points in 2 of the last 3 games. He had kind of a stinker in the last one, but yeah, 4,600 for D'Anthony Melton. I'll probably play him over Dillon Brooks in most scenarios. But for a GPP, Dillon Brooks makes a lot of sense.
See, I actually think Brooks will probably have a higher ownership than Melton just because of the shot attempts. I think a lot of people are going to chase his shot attempts when they check that box score. They see a guy shooting 20 times a game sometimes at 5,400, and rightfully so. I think if I just didn't hate Dillon Brooks, I'd probably play him. It makes a ton of sense, so I do like the call. I'm just a stubborn mule who probably won't do it. I mean, if I'm going to, I got to on a 2-game slate, right? If there's any slate I'm going to play Dillon Brooks, it's a 2-game slate. So maybe I do end up with a share of him, pivot off the Anthony Melton a couple lineups. I think that's probably a great call right there. Look at maybe Brooks as that GPP pivot. Melton is everyone's fan favorite, though. He's out. I feel like anytime he's on a slate, he's going to have like at least 17 to 20% ownership flocking to him. Ready for the next one?
Let's do it, man.
All right. San Antonio Spurs traveling to Dallas. We have a little disagreement in this game coming up, and I'm pretty excited to talk about it. But it's a 220.5 game total. Dallas favored by 5 points right now. Rightfully so, if I have to say, which we'll get to. No major injuries for the Mavericks. Just Tyrell Terry is questionable, dealing with an illness. He played probably the most of 4 or 5 minutes as is. And for the Spurs, Devin Vassell is out, as well as Quindary Weatherspoon. But what does that mean? That's all we have on the injury report. So we have some bodies back for the Spurs. So they should be pretty much good to go as far as bodies. Derek White, Rudy Gay, both these guys are back in action. We know that Kendall Johnson returned. He was kind of having those minutes limited heading into the All-Star break, trying to get his conditioning back. Lamarcus Eldridge was dealing with an illness. He is back as well. So this team's, it looks like they're geared up. So I'll pass it over to you, Keith. I know you're hyped up about this Spurs team. I don't know why. Going traveling into Dallas, taking on my Mavericks, but why don't you break it down for me?
It's not the most exciting team. I was talking about putting a little bet on these guys to win this game. I think it's heading over to MyBookie and putting a bet on these guys. I don't think it's a terrible call. I think they have the firepower to beat the Mavericks. And it's hard to nail down the rotation for the Spurs. Honestly, Coach Popovich, he just kind of goes with whoever. There's 12 guys that really enter the rotation. They come in and come out and kind of as needed. But the Spurs are solid down low, and they're solid defensively. They're a solid rebounding team, and those are just things that I think could tear up the Mavericks. So I'm liking them to win this game. I don't know if they will. I could see the Mavericks winning it easily. They're the favorites. So, but it's just something that we were kind of talking about before we came on here. But as far as guys to play in DFS, I do like some DeJounte Murray. DeJounte Murray at 7,500. He only managed 1 minute in the last meetup with these two teams, which meant 37 minutes for Patty Mills, which that hopefully won't happen again. But Murray contributes a lot in steals and rebounds, and he gets a great spot here because the Mavericks are 24th in rebounds, and so he can grab some of those boards, and he also gets to play defense against the guy that's going to have like, I don't know, insane amount of usage for the Dallas Mavericks in Luka Doncic. So, if he can get some steals, if he can get 3-4 steals in this game, I think he can easily hit value there at 7,500. Lamarcus Eldridge at 5,500. I think this is a guy that's got a lot to prove. I think he had a terrible first half of the season just because he's been plagued by injuries. Hasn't been able to see the floor, but he put up 26 points against this team in the last meetup. And, it's not necessarily the best defense on the Maverick side of the ball. I just think LMA is going to come out looking to prove that he deserves to be in the starting lineup. I think he's going to probably slide in the starting lineup for this one. Don't have confirmation on that yet. Be on the lookout for it, and something we definitely need to keep our eye on. If he's not in the starting lineup, I like him less, but if he is, I like him a whole lot at 5,500. I just think that's too cheap for a guy. We all know what he can do. He has a game that doesn't really age poorly. It ages pretty well. He's got jump shots from the mid-range. I mean, he's tall. I think that's a nice solid price point for this guy. And the last guy I like on the San Antonio Spurs is Derek White at 5,000. Hopefully this extended rest made everyone forget that Derek White just dropped 43.5 DK points against the Charlotte Hornets. And the Mavericks aren't the Charlotte Hornets, but he's got fresh legs. He's coming back at full strength. He's also had some injury plagues, first half of the season. So I'm looking for him to try to come out and prove something too.
So I do like some Spurs guys. A lot of those guys that you mentioned, I think we might have a little differing opinions on a couple guys. So the main guys I'm kind of targeting on the Spurs, I'm looking at the same guys I was looking at before the All-Star break. I'm looking at Trey Lyles. I'm looking at Patty Mills. I love the Murray call. I think DeJounte Murray is probably going to be one of the best GPP pivots. I don't think his ownership's going to be anywhere near where it should be, given his upside. A lot of people will probably just pivot right off of him with Derek White back, knowing that Derek White's going to be handling the ball a little bit. We have John Moran, only $300 more. There's a ton of reasons not to play DeJounte Murray, making him that much more of a great GPP play. So I like him for my GPPs. I think we could do a little bit better. Like I said, I'm not going to fall in that territory or that tier necessarily for a lot of my cash games. Probably going to go 2 studs. But I'm a little bit worried about Derek White and a lot of these other guys coming back. Rudy Gay. I mean, we kind of saw it when Keldon Johnson returned from COVID. They wanted to work on their conditioning, and his minutes were drastically limited for the first few games. Played 11 minutes in his first game back, 22 minutes in the one following it. I mean, this game is going to be his third game. So I'm just a little concerned that we don't see the same thing from guys like, Derek White and Rudy Gay. They missed even more time. So I'm going to kind of stay away from these guys. I know it might be, foolish on me. It might be one off the chin that I take. I think that they're going to draw a lot of ownership. And if I can get a little bit of an edge by dodging those guys, and they do have their minutes limited, I think I will be cashing out well on an only 2-game slate. I just see a ton of ownership flocking this way. I'll take the other guys I was looking at. I still think that Trey Lyles is a great value at 4,100, especially if he does draw that start. If Aldridge comes off the bench or if he starts, I'm fine with either or. 5,500 is a great price tag for him. He was dealing with a stomach illness, missed 2 games right before the All-Star break, but it's because of stomach illness. So he's going to be fine. As long as he's playing around, 25 minutes, he should be looking at 25 to 30 DK points. So 5,500, sign me up. So that's it. I'm going to be going with Murray for GPPs. I like Aldridge. I like Trey Lyles, and I like Patty Mills. So those are going to be my main options. Boom. That's it. You ready to move on to some Mavs, or you got a little bit?
Hey, I can't fault you there, man. I understand what you're saying. It is a bit of a risk there, and I didn't even think about the whole returning from COVID thing. But I still like these guys. I don't know. We might have to put a little bet off air on this one here.
Okay.
So I don't know. We'll have to see.
I'm a degenerate, so when you just say bet, I mean we can see. We'll flip coins, whatever. I'm game. No, so. Let's see. Which Spur do you like the most then? So I'll find somebody relatively close in the price range, and we'll just go at it. I mean, it's only got 4 teams to choose from here, so I don't got a ton of options. But so are you buying the Derek White? You think he plays full minutes?
No. If I had to pick one Spur that I'm really, really hyped about, I'd say probably Lamarcus Eldridge for that price point. So find you a Maverick with that price point. We'll see how they do. We'll see.
Okay. Oh, so now I'm limited even more, which is terrible because the Mavs have 2 guys that we want to target. I'll try to make that. Listen, I like Aldridge as well, but I'm still a degenerate who will take any sort of bet. So I'll take Jalen Brunson versus him.
Oh, okay.
We'll do that. We'll do that. I don't mind some Jalen Brunson action. Now let's segue right to the Mavs. I mean, it's pretty clear cut. Luka Doncic, 10-7. Fantastic play. Just anytime he's on the slate, just seeing him kind of get. And that's the thing. A lot of people don't understand that the All-Star break is great for the players because sometimes they just need to have that refresher and just have fun. And Luka actually mentioned this in a couple of interviews that he's just out here looking to kind of take a break and have some fun. He's coming back now. This is a great matchup for him. Doesn't scare me off really at 10-7. Probably looking at a floor of about 50, 47-50. Ceiling is always there of Luka of 60+. Just 2-game slate. The raw points is what you're looking for. Porzingis at 86, I'll pass, probably won't get there. And then when we're looking at some of these wing players, I don't mind taking stabs at, Richardson and Hardaway Jr. If I had to pick one, I prefer Richardson. Hardaway Jr. is, really scoring reliant. Outside of that, he kind of provides a little bit of empty box scores. The one question mark that I always find myself is when you're looking for that value around that 4,300, you always see Kleber, you always see Finney-Smith. Neither one of them are appetizing. Neither one of them are exciting. But they're there. If you need to use it, their value rounds out your lineup. I don't mind it.
Yeah, man. I mean, Luka, I got to lock him in, man. Luka and Westbrook, those would probably be my two main guys. I mean, if I can pay up for both of those guys, which I should be able to on this slate and find some value somewhere else, then I'm going to do it 100% of the time. I mean, well, maybe not 100%, but 80% of the time, right? And like you said, KP, I like him as a tournament pivot, a GPP pivot. He shot 50% from the field in their last meeting, and he didn't have many auxiliary stats, and that was a big problem. But he's gotten a block in 4 out of the last 5 games and a steal in 3 out of the last 5, and there's just a lot of upside there. 8,600 is kind of a high price tag for him, so again, this is just a GPP only play. I'm not going to go to him in cash. But yeah, I think Josh Richardson's probably the guy I like. THJ, Tim Hardaway. I'm not paying for him unless Porzingis is missing, and Porzingis is in this one. So I'm pretty much staying off of THJ, and I'll go Josh Richardson at 4,900. I really like that price tag. He's about $400, $500 cheaper than other guys that I'd be looking at. So if I really need to save that money, he's a great guy to go to, and I think I'll probably end up on him a lot. So I think we're pretty much in sync on this Mavs squad.
So you switch sides now. The Mavs.
So now I got the Mavs winning by a few.
Yeah.
No.
I mean, we'll see if you if you end up having Luka and you're sweating a lineup really late, you might be doing an in-game bet just to hedge yourself.
This is what happened on a 2-game slate though. I'm not even a Spurs guy, but I'm like, hey, I got to find some action here. Where's the action?
Yeah. That's it. We sniff it out. We'll find it. I'm with you. But listen, I'm a little bit of a homer, so I never bet any Mavs games. I talk about it. I really bet, actual games. If I do, it's usually big games, or I like to parlay. I go big or go home. I'll do a little bit, and if I hit, I want to hit big. I'm a GPP player. Doubling your money is nice, but I don't like to bet games every night. I like bet my cash lineups every night. But that's it. That's all we have for you guys. Quick, pretty easy show. Nice little roundabout, 22 minutes, a little bit longer just because we get to talk. It's been a while for us. We got to get our our voice boxes and these pipes working again. So thank you guys for listening. If you have a second, you want to give us a follow on Twitter, we'd greatly appreciate it. You can find me. It is at Mike Patria. That is MikeApotria. And you can find Keith at Ginsberg Beats. That is GINSBERGB3ATS. Ginsberg Beats. Give him a follow. Keith crushing it. Not only crushes it over here at Hoopball, it's content you can find it all over the place. Dude's a stud, an absolute whiz. So keep crushing it, Keith. You've been a stud ever since you've been here. Happy to do these shows with you. They're plenty of fun. And now I get to just, we didn't say what we were wagering, but clearly I'm going to be shaking your pockets out tomorrow night. Really looking forward to that as well.
Yeah, we'll see about that. About that. No, it's been great, man. I'm glad to be on Hoopball, and all the people in the Discord are awesome, man. Get that DFS pass, join us, and man, let's go win some money, man.
Absolutely. So thank you guys for listening. If you have a second, you want to give us a nice little 5-star review on Apple Podcasts, wherever you may be listening to this, we'd really appreciate it. It means the world to us. We check those out. Lets us know how we're doing. Lets us know how we can get better. And we just like to see the good feedback. Our hard work, that it's paying off. Means a lot to us. So keep doing it. We appreciate it. We'll be back tomorrow. I'll be on dealing with Santino's, wisecracks and everything that, I can imagine how he's stewing. He hasn't done a show, able to talk in 5 days. I'm sure he's probably got a book full of insults ready to go from me. So you guys will get to hear that. We'll be back tomorrow night. Thank you guys for listening. We'll tune in. Take care. Let's go out there and crush some lineups.
This has been a Hoop Ball presentation.